All right, so I finally got a good night's sleep, and this is what always happens, and my wife's always trying to get me to encourage me to share my pain so that maybe it helps you. So here we go. So I always get to about 2 days into a trip and something magical happens. First off, I get enough sleep. I can work myself into kind of a frenzy with trying to grow these new businesses. I don't know if your business has suffered with all these lockdowns, but the fitness industry is, who knows if it'll ever come back. So I'm like, okay, I got to get my word out. I got to tell people what I'm doing. I got to study sales funnels. I got to do this. What's my voice? It's just exhausting. I get so scatterbrained and so irritable. My poor family has to deal with me. They call me an angsty teenager all the time because I just end up getting so tired. I'm like, I turn into this pouty little, we watched a movie last night and there was a pouty teenager in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's me.
War with Grandpa. Was that one? War with Grandpa.
Not the greatest movie, but Tati laughed, and I haven't seen Robin laugh that
Victor
hard in a while.
looks like the grandpa, Robert De Niro, but he acts like the little 12-year-old who was like...
Anyway, so I get 2 days in, get enough sleep, and all of a sudden something magical happens, and I kind of find my smile again and kind of find my sense of humor with my family. And I'm like, it's really, really hard to kind of go through this, even though I kind of can script it. And when you're in it, the pain is so real, or the discomfort is so real, you don't know exactly how to deal with it, and you're acting out. But I think it's still all rooted in how we deal with our stuff, our baggage. We all have this stuff. And so I don't know what's my take home. Am I telling you to like go get and do this? I'm like, look, all I'm doing is sharing the fact that like literally I was in the point where I'm like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm not going on this trip.
And we were going to be gone for like a month, and that
I need to be responsible. I need to grow this new business. I need to just suck it up and be a man. And in the end, I'm like, yes, I do need to be a man, but I also need to be a man and realize, like, hey, I need to disconnect. I need to spend time with my family. In the end, how we experience our life is in our hands, and we have to be able to react to our past, our baggage, our junk, actively move that junk around and maybe offload it off the train.
Yeah, I think two main things happen. So and again, chakras, power, and project life. Part one happens that some of the stuff that we go through now, I think in a more normal marriage, you might not come across these things so much because we put an abnormal amount of stress on a relationship. I think about, oh man, if our life was just what it was like in Polson, where it's like as long as the kids are fed and happy and the house is cleaned up and maybe I get in a workout and Victor gets in a workout and that's a day, then it'd be okay. But unfortunately for me, I've seen the other side, and so I can't give up this other side of experiencing life. And so it's not enough to just get through or exist. I feel like I need this involvement in creating experiences and growth. So what happens is, for one, we go to make a move, and we've been doing this for 5 years. So whether it's going on a long road trip, or going to Europe or New Zealand, or trying to break away from California, live somewhere else, whatever, we've just put a ton of stresses on our marriage. And so what happens is there's this, it sets a trigger of disrupting his root chakra. Like, wait, I just got stable and security here, and all the time as a kid, I never felt safe, I never felt secure, and now you're just putting me back into that position when I was a kid and I didn't feel safe, or I couldn't trust people, or I didn't know, if my dad was going to lose his job, or if, there were just so many things that were happening that any little thing, even if we've repeated it, it ends up triggering that same emotion. And like you said, when you're in it, you don't realize that you're just reliving that. That's one. The second is everybody has different talents. And for sure, I have a lot of things that I really suck at. But for Victor, his numerology is that he really has to be more organized and disciplined.
Freedom through discipline. Those are my numbers. And there's a lot of things. I always used to think to myself, but being super disciplined, ouch. I used to think about press my body weight, but I can't even freaking pull a phone more than 5 minutes.
It's like when we had kids, and you get mommy arms, and like my left arm could hold a baby for an hour, but poor Victor's like, oh, it's gonna mess up my bicep curl.
My gains, man. Okay, so yeah, you have freedom through discipline. is my numerology, but I always thought, truthfully, that I was a relatively disciplined person until it came to right about now, where we're sort of entrepreneurial. I think I'm very disciplined. Like if someone says an appointment, I'll be there 15 minutes early. I don't miss a workout, although I purposely make myself miss them now, because that might sound weird from the fitness guy, but again, I think it's a critical component. Like I use that as a tool for compensation for many, many years. You can think of yourself like anyone who's involved in fitness, like, hey, why are you trying to make yourself so strong? It might be because you feel so weak in these other elements. And so I actually am not very disciplined when it came to sort of developing this entrepreneurial mindset and creating a business plan or a marketing plan, which Robin will say. And so that's been a challenge for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's cool, like, to get to work through multiple aspects. Hopefully you guys get some little valuable tips that'll help you in your marriage, everything. You know, I think a lot of people have the same parallels. It might not be the exact same scenarios that we're going through, but the parallels are definitely there. So let us know. Make sure you subscribe, like, throw us a thumbs up.
Comments.
There you go.
I want comments on this channel. I want to know this is for you. That's why we do these. Okay, so if you really enjoy these and you're like, hey, what about this? We would love to engage with our audience and figure out what it is that you might have questions on. Everyone always goes, oh, how do you full time? Well, that's a good question too, but let's see what else you're struggling with.
Oh, our next dilemma is our washing machine broke. So maybe tomorrow we'll show how our fifth wheel has this awesome washing machine, which I love so much. And yeah, it doesn't work. And so we filled it and then it won't drain. And we've like fill it, like, okay, maybe we fixed the problem. And then you have to manually drain it. And then we think we fixed the problem again. And then you have to drain it manually again in this tiny little space. It's really crazy, but those are some of the full-time RVing issues, is broken washing machines, and you're at a state park, so there's no washing machine, and it's just a mess sitting around. All right, thanks you guys.